Hi readers, welcome back. Today I'm going to be speaking to the female viewers. My next book, Gross Anatomy. I wanted to thank my friends Laura and Ruthie for voting for this book because I probably wouldn't have read it right away. So this book, I believe every woman should read or listen to if you're an audiobook person, and you'll see why. I found this book last year, like summertime-ish on Instagram. Chelsea Handler recommended it, and I was like, oh, that seems interesting. Plus, she said that it's going to be made into a TV show, so I was like, all right, even better. We'll see what it's about. So some background about the author. She grew up in San Diego area, and her parents were like the ultimate hippies, right? So they didn't like makeup, they didn't like deodorant, shaving, nothing. She had to be all natural. They lived like all natural like that. So when she started going to school, and then she started getting older, and there's a story about when she was, I think, 7th grade. I can't remember exactly, but the other girls were making fun of her because she didn't shave her legs, and she didn't realize that like people did that. So she started to become more mainstream as she got older, but then as she got older, she also had these questions like why her parents were so against these things, and why, and ultimately why is society like this? Why is society saying we need to shave our legs when the cave women didn't shave their legs, right? And things like that. So some of the topics, not all of them, but some of them include body hair and removal, all parts, sex noises, why some women make noises and some don't, sweat. She like sweats a lot. She's a very sweaty person. So they talk about that and like the different types of sweat and where you sweat. She has a chapter about riding a bicycle through New York City topless and the things that came from that. She talks about hemorrhoids. She talks about the butt paradox is what she calls it, and like why are people so attracted to the butt when it's also what she calls the septic tank of our body, of our system. So why is there that like paradox of why do people like it? There's a whole chapter about PMS and why women use it as a scapegoat, more or less, like, oh, I must be PMSing, I must be getting my period, or I'm on my period, and why maybe we shouldn't say those things. There's this whole part about the symptoms, I guess, of PMS, like the cramps. Mostly it could be your body trying to tell you something, that maybe you're not taking care of yourself, because some women have all these symptoms and then some women don't have any of those symptoms, and what's the difference? And then one chapter that I thought was interesting, she talks about the belly button, and I do not like anyone to touch my belly button. I have to go to this doctor and she always wants me to put my finger on my belly button, and I'm just like, I want to cry because I do not like that. It makes me like, ugh, like I cannot do it. And no one else that I know is that sensitive, but Mara is like that. So I was like, finally, like I'm not the only person that feels this way. So yeah. So she has these different chapters that talk about these different topics, and she talks about the cultural shift as why do we have this perspective on these topics? For example, bicycling through New York City topless. Like, why is that such like a taboo thing? And when did this cultural shift happen? Because, you know, way back when things were different. And then where did that happen, that women suddenly couldn't do all these things that men could do ish? She talks with a bunch of experts about why these things happen, but she also talks with regular people too to see what their opinion is. She did a lot of really interesting research in sake of the book. For example, she went to a nudist resort for a day with her mother, and she talks about that. And she went to this red tent event is what it's called, and it's like this weekend for these women that just want to get together and celebrate their cycles. And it's like there's a crazy story that happens there that I don't even want to talk about. But there's lots of personal stories, like not only about herself and growing up, but like some of her friends, things they've been through. I really enjoyed this book because for me it was eye-opening as to how our body like actually works. Like a lot of the stuff I would never think about, and I didn't talk about all the topics because it can be a little personal obviously, but it's just, I don't even know. It's graphic. It can be very graphic, and I would never just like research like why this work, why does this happen in your body and whatnot. But she says that like even the doctors say a lot of people end up dying because they don't tell their doctors everything that's going on with their body, and she talks about like some of that stuff in there. So like I said, it's a lot of stuff that I've never thought about before, so it definitely made me have a greater appreciation for how the body works. And like I notice myself now, like even like how I'm feeling and like things like that. I'm like, oh, maybe this is because of this and whatnot. So I believe all women should read this, learn about your body, be aware. So if you read it, let me know what you think, because like I said, I was a little bit like too much information, but it's all good. So if you like this video, if you like this book, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. All right, I'll see you next time.